Buffalo Bills tape, how do you evaluate a pass rush on a day where you didn't get credit for any sacks? We can argue the Shannon coming to the cows come home, but you drew 5 holding calls in the game, which is an exorbitant amount in one game. 4 were enforced, and I'm just wondering, do you look at that as, well, I mean, it's not as good as a sack, but do you look at it as a pretty big win when you can draw a holding call?
Well, right now we're looking at it as we're getting pressure, but it's the same, the results, like finishing. Like we drew the holding, but there were opportunities where we didn't get held. We had a chance to get them on the ground, but we just got to continue to work on finishing. And, the guys are doing it, and hopefully they'll turn around for us.
But let me be more specific on this. Are you generally happy with a game where you don't get sacks, but you get 4 enforced holding calls?
Well, it's really, the sack is really the stat that you want to get. But at the end of the day, as a coach, you really look at how you affected the quarterback. Was he comfortable back there, or was he moving around and uncomfortable? That's one of the things, and you can tell by completion percentage sometimes, and then just the feel of the game. And I think we're making guys uncomfortable. We just got to do a little extra and get that sack.
Can you talk about Devon Hamilton going to be back at practice today, and what he would, if you can get him back on the field, what he'd bring to the defense?
It's just really good to almost be at full strength. You got a guy that played great for us last year, and unfortunate that he had to miss some time, but to open up his window and get a chance to get him back and just see his face out there. He's been sitting in meetings, and just being able to get him out on the field, I think it'll be a big boost for the team.
Smoot, how good has it been to see him back at practice and maybe even on the field soon?
Really, just last week, just being around more, being engaged with the guys, talking. His leadership shows up, being able to help guys out in pass rush. But, he's just like Devon, just being able to get him back would be just a boost to the team.
Mike, you talked before the season about the need to improve as a tackling team. It seems that you have improved. Are you happy with that so far?
Well, you always work on the things that where your weakness is the last year. And we're going to continue to work on tackling. We did our tackle circuit yesterday. You always want to go back and reinforce the things that are important to you. And tackling is, and we have to go back and we'll continue to work on it. And the guys are doing a good job, and they're understanding that it's important. We just got to continue to keep it going.
How much can you credit the defense's play over the last few weeks with just how close the team is, how close the defense is, obviously in their second year with each other? How much of that kind of correlates to how well you guys have been playing?
I think it kind of goes hand in hand. You're around guys a bunch. We're not communicating as well as we should be because of the explosive plays, but other areas of the defense and other areas of the games, we are doing a decent job of what we want to do. But the communication is the thing right now. We're around each other. We talk. We joke all the time. Let's talk and make sure we communicate on the field the same way.
You've been missing Smoot and Hamilton, but the run defense has been probably one of the top in the league. What do you make of that? Just having guys like Ledbetter coming in and just different players being able to step in right away.
I think in training camp you kind of find guys that are able to fit your mold, and we found a couple of guys. Got a few guys off the street that have come in here and did a really good job. And then overall, you have our defensive backs are tackling like crazy. Like Jenkins, Tyson. Tyson had a tackle for loss. He's the corner. So it's interesting that guys want to contribute to stopping the run, and they're doing a good job and they're focused on it. And got a big task this week.
That play that Darius made, that interception against Stephon, just how impressive of a play is that to you? Just as a defensive back, the leverage of the throw and everything like that he was able to make in that moment.
It's always good for a defensive guy because at practice, you sometimes when it's our period, we get a chance to compete for the ball, but when it's offense period, we don't get a chance to compete for the ball. And he went up and he competed for the ball, and that's what you want. You want guys that are able to attack the ball once it's in the air, and Darius did a great job of going up and high-pointing it. He showed his strong hands and was able to get the interception.
On that particular play, Josh Allen sort of intimated after the game that he, I mean, obviously he was, dancing around in the pocket there a little bit. How much do you think he was bothered enough by the pressure to not get the kind of velocity on the ball that he probably wanted?
Well, going into the game, we understood that the other Josh Allen, could throw it as far as he needed to throw it. And that's why we always say rush and coverage go together. Just being able to be around him and not let him fully step into it, because he has an arm that's strong enough to throw it 90 yards. But it came up short, and Darius was in good position. He was able to make a play. But it goes hand in hand. When you have a rush that's able to get around guys, that's what we go back to talking about affecting the quarterback. When he's unable to step into it, then that's not as good as a sack, but it affects the quarterback.
As a different kind of follow-up, I know this is not your ultimate call to make, but the trade deadline is less than 3 weeks away. Will Smoot and Devon Hamilton really have enough time together where you can properly evaluate whether you need to go get a potential help along the defensive line, pass rush, or whatever?
Again, I think you answered your question. That's not my area. I guess we'll talk about it as staff, but right now we're comfortable with the guys we have, and we're getting guys back that can play the major role in the growth of this team last year and going forward. So we're excited to get our guys back, and we'll see how it goes from there.
How much better do you expect the pass rush to be once Hamilton and Smoot are not just back, but actually got a couple games under their belt and can really kind of get back into the flow of the game?
Really, when you look at it, those are our guys that last year we depended on. This year going into this season, we depended on. We're glad to get them back at whatever time. Now Smoot's ready, D. Ham's ready to go, and that'll be a jolt to the team.
What sort of quarterback's Gardner Minshew?
We say moxie. He's a guy that, he might not have the name, but the players in that locker room play for him. And that's huge. When you got those other 52 guys believing in you and they believe in him, they'll go out there and they'll play for him. That says something about a quarterback. And that's a big thing. Like, run game will pick up, pass game will pick up, offensive line will pick up because they want to play for him. And that's the kind of quarterback he is. You can see it on the film. I think when he's been in the game, they're undefeated.
Obviously, AR is a different kind of quarterback, but does their offense change much when Gardner's in there as compared to when Richardson's in there?
I think the run game changes a little bit, but he has enough moxie to be able to make the runs. He's athletic. He's not as athletic as AR, but he is a athletic quarterback, and he can buy time with his feet. He can run his own read. He's able to make plays with his feet, but he also is a veteran quarterback that knows where to go with the ball. So I think the offense will stay similar, and they'll lean heavy on the running backs and let the quarterback do what he does.
Speaking of that running game, Jonathan Taylor, haven't seen a lot of him this season, but how much do you have to prepare for him?
He's a 5-star guy. He's a guy that you have to account for whenever he's on the field. You know that at any time he can take it the distance. And Moss the same way. They have I don't want to call it a two-headed monster, but they have two guys back there that can get it done. And, we'll have to make sure we're gap sound and be in our gaps and try to slow it down as much as we can.
You got Antonio Johnson in the lineup for a few snaps this last week. How big of a role do you envision him working his way into in the defense as a rookie?
I think it was good to get his first dose of playing, and hopefully his role will continue. It'll be a week-to-week thing. We'll go in and we try to use our guys, and if we need 3 safeties, 4 safeties at times, and we got Devin coming back, so hopefully, we'll have a full plethora of guys to be able to use, and we'll just plug him in and try to get the best out of anybody that's out there.
How do you think he looked in first snaps?
I thought he played well. He'd, he covered well, has good play speed, and, he'll continue to grow into his role.
Do you think Smoot's trending to be suiting up for this Sunday?
I don't know. That's his window's still open, so we'll continue to get him reps and see where he's at.
How do you think he looks now? I mean, if you had to, just watching him in practice, what are your observations?
Smoot is good. He's out there. He's smiling. He's running around, and he's getting back accustomed to playing football. It's it's tough when you're unable to do what you love to do, and I'm just excited for him that he's able to be back with us. And if he's able to go this week, that's fine. If he's not, we'll wait until he's ready to go and let him go at it.
You mentioned Devin coming back. How do you think Muma played in replacement?
I thought Chad did a good job. He played downhill. He made his plays in the run game, was solid in the pass game. And, you can always look at Chad. He's even though he's a young player, he's a guy that understands the game. He goes about understanding, prepares for it, and when he's out there, he's going to make his plays, and he did a good job for us. All right. Thank you.